Let's do it. Episode 4. Welcome back to the Backseat podcast. My name is Chris,
This is Catherine.
and you are watching episode number 4.
Wow. I can't believe we made it this far.
Yeah, no, to the 3 and now 4 of you that are watching, we made it. Episode number 4. I'm so excited. I really like your hat, by the way, Kat.
Oh, thank you, Christian. You want to know where I got it from?
Please, I'm dying to find out.
I got it from Off the Tee. Speaking of Off the Tee, this episode of the Backseat podcast is sponsored by Off the Tee, the family-owned UK brand making golf wear that actually fits your life. Whether you're hitting the green or just hitting brunch, Off the Tee has got you covered with affordable, comfortable gear for on and off the field. Stylish, practical, and made for real people, just like you. Check them out at www.ottgolfwear.com and tell them the Backseat sent you.
Yo, that was so smooth, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
That was,
I literally
loved
just
it.
wrote it.
I loved it. Yo, actually, who owns Off the Tee? By the way, go ahead and tell the audience who owns Off the Tee.
That would be my uncle, the one
Wow.
from the UK.
Yeah, from Liverpool. Go Liverpool.
Shout out.
Yeah, man. No, I'm so excited. No, he literally gave us these hats, and I've been wearing this hat, and I have this one and a black one. They should be on the store, but man, I love these hats. They're super stylish, super great, and I love these colors, so I'm really excited for it. But yeah, episode 4. Let's go ahead and get cracking.
Crack-a-lackin'.
Crack-a-lackin', not like your earlobes
Oh,
from last
man.
episode.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. That was a lot that I went through. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing with my life. I'm trying to pull up the notes. Do we want to start off with your notes or my notes
I can go
first?
ahead and start with my notes.
Oh, period.
I'll go through them real quick because I have a few just exciting ones. I don't know when we'll be airing this, but I'm really excited because the Knicks in 6, bro. I'm so excited for the Knicks. The Knicks fans are crazy. Have you seen the videos of the Knicks fans on TikTok?
Can you provide context to what the Knicks are?
So the Knicks are a basketball team.
Oh, okay.
They are
Basketball.
They are currently on their way to the conference final against the Pacers, and I'm so excited because the Knicks actually they are the underdog of the NBA. They're outside of maybe what the Pistons and a few other terrible teams. They really have like finally since I believe 1999 actually starting like
Wow.
to do something
It's
amazing.
like before I was born.
Yeah, no, it's for all the Knicks fans. It's really crazy, but I'm really excited. I don't know if you've been watching the videos in New York right now.
I did see that one video of that guy sitting on the LED screen, and I was like, yo, this could end so poorly. I'm anxious.
No, I really wish I could be in New York right now. I feel like all my people, and I'm not a New Yorker, by the way. I've never lived in New York, but the way I would relate so much to being out there and going crazy in the streets would be amazing. I'm so excited for them. Real quick as well, I'm going through all of them real quick. That way we get to the fun stuff in a little
Wow,
bit.
we're speeding through this.
Speeding through it, man, because I'm really excited for the sports ones. This is a sport one. I know you don't like talking about sports, so we'll get through it quickly. But Caitlin Clark posted 20 points, triple doubles. She's fire. Indiana Fever. I know you don't care. I just thought I'd do the shout outs because I really like Caitlin Clark, and I think the Knicks are doing great. So that was my highlights, the sport highlights. If you can put that song in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you got going on?
Disclaimer, I'm kind of sick, so I'm trying really, really hard not to cough in the mic. If I cough in the mic, I'm so sorry. That's literally so disgusting, but that's not part of my notes. It's just a little tee-hee. Let me pull them up real quick. Let's see. Oh my gosh. We have to talk about it. Anabelle. Bro, have you seen that she's literally going on a world tour right now?
World tour, Eras tour, Anabelle. Go ahead and cough that out.
Sorry. I got bronchitis.
Out.
I don't have bronchitis.
Ain't nobody got time for that. I love that.
I didn't grab no shoes or nothing, Jesus.
Dude, Anabelle from where? Where did she come from?
She came from Monroe, Connecticut. I think it's Connecticut. I know it's Monroe because I thought it was Louisiana, and then I was like, oh, wrong Monroe. I think it's Connecticut. That's where she was laid to rest. I don't know, put in her little box. And she traveled to New Orleans. And that was crazy. They were kind of shoveling her around in a box with the Lord's Prayer on it, and they're like throwing holy water at it. And then after she was there, a giant plantation burned to the ground, and 11 inmates escaped prison from maximum security.
This is a
So
very.
I'm not saying, look, I don't believe in Annabelle, and
What do you mean believe in her? I mean, the
she's just a Molly doll.
and the name happens to be Annabelle, so you kind of have to
Yeah,
believe in it.
but I don't believe in like, I've never seen the movie, but I don't believe in the whole like spirituality behind Annabelle. So I just want to get your take on like, first of all, why is she on world tour? And the second of all, like, what's your take on this?
What more fitting place than Annabelle to go through New Orleans? Like, that's my first and foremost take. I feel like now Annabelle, like, there are a few terrible places around this country, anywhere in Florida, New Orleans. I mean, I don't mean terrible as in like the location is terrible. Like, I love Florida beaches. Um, you know, however, Florida does get, get its hate, very earned. But New Orleans, I mean, New Orleans is like, isn't it like Shaman City, like witch city, like
Yeah, it's like the voodoo capital
yeah. But so that's what I'm
of
saying,
America.
voodoo capital, right? So like,
I would think so.
yeah. So like, my whole thing is like, okay, so if she's out here going to New Orleans, it kind of makes sense. Like, I don't know how well she did. Like, did she go through Bourbon Street? Like, what was the?
I don't know what she was doing there, but the like voodoo queen, the bone voodoo queen, I'm not saying it right. Oh my god, please don't come for me. She like rebuked her in the name of voodoo.
Oh,
And I thought that was interesting because I'm like,
that's like playing baseball with like a foam bat.
yeah, it's kind of like Spider-Man memeing yourself, you know? Like, I rebuke you. And like
Like,
Spider-Man is
hey,
like, I rebuke you. And I'm like, y'all have like-minded spirits. How you gonna cast one out? Just merge.
become one. Dude, that is crazy though. Like New Orleans, really Louisiana, the state as a whole, since Annabelle's touched ground over there, is actually what, like you said, the mansion burned down, which that in itself is its own little debate, which I don't really care to get into.
You
But
almost segued there yourself,
I
man.
wasn't gonna get, I was not gonna get there, but it burned down. Do I feel bad? No, I don't feel bad. Sorry, I hate to be that. Anyway, but it also like it came to Houston. It came to
It's in San
Texas.
Antonio right
It's in
now.
San Antonio, dude. Like I knew
She.
it's a it.
Well, it's a Molly doll. That's a
It
girl doll.
it's an
So
inanimate object.
that is modeled after a girl.
It's an it.
Okay, whatever.
Anyways,
Excuse
she
me for trying to be polite. Lord forbid I'm polite about the Molly doll.
about the Molly doll. I love it. No, so the Molly doll made it all the way to San Antonio. I wonder like what they're terrorizing. Charles Barkley is probably like throwing a fit right now for the Molly. Charles Barkley really hates San Antonio.
Oh, I don't even know who that is.
Sergio is
The
doing the
silence in
same
this room is so
face.
loud. Oh my god, who is that?
I'm not even gonna. We'll go into the
No,
stats.
who is it?
We'll go into Charles Barkley's stats later.
Stats on what?
He was a very very well known basketball player, and he's a sports commentator right now.
Look, if you're not LeBron James or Kobe, I don't know who you are. Or Jordan? Michael Jordan. They all play basketball, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So don't look at me like that. I name basketball players.
Oh man, I'm glad you just named basketball players, and you'd be like Derek Jeter, Toby. What is it? Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow, man. Where's Tim Tebow at?
Playing basketball somewhere. I'm joking.
You're not. You have to be joking.
I'm literally
you
joking.
have to be joking. He literally took a knee. But
Yeah. But anyways, like okay, back to the Annabelle thing, because I'm tired of talking about sports.
doom doom.
What's your take on like the whole holy water Lord's Prayer around this box?
Well, it goes back to the thing what I've been saying for the last few episodes. I'm not a Catholic, so I I don't know. Like, if I'm being honest with you, I'm a very skeptical person by nature. So if I see, first of all, if I see this doll behind glass and everyone's afraid of it, my first inclination is to touch it. Really, my first inclination is to like do the dance from Dirty Dancing, where it's like I had the time. Maybe I like my hands will burn off or something. But I don't find something I don't find it real or I kind of find it quirky, if anything, really. Annabelle, I saw it when I was in high school. I was like, oh yeah, like this doll's creepy. But then I saw it was a Molly doll, and I was like, who are you scaring? You're like, what? You're made out of my what? The material of these pants and the socks have more technically are more pure than the Molly doll. So like,
Well, especially now that it's full of demons.
so wait, where do the demons fit if it's within the little
I've never
doll?
seen it. I've never seen Annabelle because I don't I don't entertain demonic spirits. But
Are you afraid of scary movies?
not only am I afraid of scary movies, I am afraid of scary movies. I'm not afraid to say that.
Really?
But also, yeah.
But you're from Louisiana.
Yeah, my life is a scary movie. I don't need to watch something on TV. I could just live it.
I thought you would look at some of the the scary movie scenes and be like what's the one from The Conjuring that I really like? Sergio the
That happened to me.
Oh, that
I
did
was sleeping
not.
over at a friend's house. I kid you not. I wasn't even planning on going here. I was sleeping over at a friend's house and I was asleep on her couch and Jasmine was there. Jasmine can verify this story. We all three were sleeping over at her house. And in the middle of the night, 3 a.m., I wake up to, and I literally woke up and I was like 13. I'd never seen The Conjuring. I still haven't and I never will. I woke up and was like, that did not just happen. Like, this is not real. And then I heard it again, but it wasn't in the room. Like, it wasn't one of the girls. It was like in the hallway. And I literally just froze. And then I heard Jasmine go, Catherine? And I was like, oh my God, it's real. I'm not freaking out. And I said, did you hear that? And she was like, yes. And we
Oh
were literally
no.
like frozen. I had to wake my friend up and like tell her to turn the TV on. And I literally was like praying to God. I was like, don't let this person kill us. It was so
This
scary.
really happened? That's
Yes.
crazy.
It was so scary. And I still don't have an explanation for that. Because like no one else was home. Like it was just the three of us.
Yeah. Man, see I'm really trying to think if I've ever had a paranormal experience. I think I mean, when I would go to Mexico, I would have dreams that I saw La Llorona walking and crying, but it might have been just some random woman screaming. Just I try to make sure that I'm balancing my mind because maybe it's like I don't know if I really believe all that. Like, let's see, I got one. I don't know. I don't really don't talk about this one often, but when I was, I want to say 6 or 7 years old, I wake up. I want to say literally before the crack of dawn, so like maybe 3, 4 in the morning. Still dark outside, but it's kind of starting to look blue outside because the light's coming up. The sun, sorry. Anyway, so I wake up out of nowhere, and at the foot of my bed, I see this tall thing in a white robe, and the face is black. Like I mean, it's like as if like it wasn't a black person. It was like
Thank you for clarifying
I
that.
had to clarify that. It was literally just a black figure, like that was no shape. So literally just the outline of a head with a robe, and it had hands, but the hands it almost looked like if you drew it and you painted it in.
Ew. You know why that grosses me out so much?
Why?
Because every time I have dreams about demons, their hands look like that.
Oh
Or
wow.
they're like, you know when you like poorly draw hands and they're like, wah, 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 wah.
Yeah.
Like their hands look like that.
Oh wow. So
So that's why I was like, ew.
but you told me the other day that every time you take a Benadryl, you take too many
Oh yeah, the
Benadryls,
Hat
the
Man.
Hat Man comes in.
You've never seen the Hat
I don't
Man.
remember if there was a hat. I just remember
That's not the Hat Man.
I wake up and I look at it and I'm like, I guess like it's that thing where you're too scared to speak. So you're just like and so I looked back at because my bed was facing the window. So I looked back and I'm like And the thing is still there. I literally am trying to wake myself up. I'm like, dude, what the heck, man? Like, and so I just literally, I I relented and I was like, you know what? Whatever happens next is gonna happen. And
Oh my
and I
God.
went back to sleep. I kid you not, the way my 7-year-old brain was, what can I do? There's literally nothing I could. I think I prayed or I was like, God, please. And then I went back to sleep. Like I was like, at some point, like,
Wow,
you
we're
know,
so
I have to
different.
let go and let God at that one.
When things like that would happen to me as a kid, I would like wake everyone up in the house. Like no one could sleep. If I couldn't sleep, no one could sleep. And like my parents would be like, Catherine, that didn't happen. That's not real. I'm like, no, I know what I saw. This is real. And then years later, they're like, oh yeah, we knew it was real the whole time. I was like, you heifers, y'all were gaslighting me, making me think I was schizo. That's crazy.
You know, when we were first dating, you told me that you found crystal rocks.
Oh yeah, someone tried to hex me.
Yeah, someone tried to hex you. I
They're
remember
probably
that.
watching this. I still don't know who you are, but whoever buried rocks in my yard, I'm coming after you, bro. I'm coming after you with the love of Jesus.
You know, PSA. I know this is not really a Christian podcast, but with all this demon talk, there's only one name. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We're not going to make it a spiritual one, but there's only one name, and it's not Annabelle, and it's not voodoo.
Annabelle is not real.
Annabelle's an actual doll.
It's a
it,
Molly doll.
technically, it's real.
Yes. But the lore, like, it probably happened, but it's not attached to Annabelle.
Yeah, no, I mean
That doll, you could throw that doll in the street. It's not going to make a difference.
I think the fact
You need to up your prayer life. Stop. Look, you know what? Nah, I'm going to take it there because I'm so fed up. I'm fed up, bro.
Take it there.
I was trying really hard not to. But you know what? Y'all stop being afraid of that doll in that box. And you need to be worried about where you're going.
If you're more afraid of a doll in a box than your eternity, this is not a religious, I'm not trying to make a Christian podcast, but I'm just saying in the interest of priorities, if you care more about being afraid about getting hexed or some doll in a box, in a glass box, mind you, what, a demon's not strong enough to punch through a glass? Like, what? No, call on Jesus because he already called on you. That's
There you go.
Next topic.
Look,
Next topic.
Jesus fix it. Anyways, she was in New Orleans. Kiss, kiss.
Kiss, kiss. New Orleans has great muffaladas.
Oh, there's so
Jambalaya.
many rants I could go on, but I don't know. I don't know if we want to. Oh, just honorable mention when Katy Perry was like, "You're like an Indian summer in the middle of a winter." You know that meme?
No, I
Like
don't.
a heart candy
The only-
with a surprise center. And then she's like, just kidding, I don't sing that way. She literally, so she was at a concert and she literally sang like that, like over enunciating. And then someone like cut to the actual song recorded and it's the same way, like way over enunciated and just like staccato the whole way.
You know, what's funny to me? What's funny is the only thing I thought about was when Demi Lovato, and she's doing really well right now.
Oh man.
I really love Demi Lovato.
I love Demi.
Camp Rock, man.
I hope she's okay.
But the funniest thing is her going to that haunted house and singing to them ghosts.
Bruh.
I have never wanted something to be real so bad.
I've never been so grateful something wasn't real.
I was singing to these ghosts who they've been oppressed in a life before. And I'm like,
bro, people will try anything but Jesus, dude. I don't understand. Like, is this so hard? Is this so hard to just be like, you know what? These are a lot of steps.
well, can I go a little deeper than that? If you're not trying Jesus, why are you trying this? I mean, listen, everyone, you have the right to believe what you want. I love you for it. Freedom of everything. Go ahead.
Freedom of everything.
Well, within reason. Within reason. But dude, you really gonna try like singing to ghosts, Annabelle, not stepping on cracks or you're gonna break your mother's back. Like you trying everything, but you might as listen. I
I
think
went to Catholic school
go.
and we changed it from if you step on a crack, you break your mom's back to step on the crack, you break the devil's back. So we would only step on cracks when we would walk to church.
Childish. Childish.
Snap, crackle, pop.
Snap. Your mom's gonna be like, I have some bad back pain.
I'm not gonna lie, she does have bad back pain. Maybe it was all the cracks I stepped on.
Next topic.
Oh my gosh.
Oh Lord.
Can we talk about the slab?
Return the slab.
Return the slab.
I love Courage the Cowardly Dog. These young kids y'all don't know about that.
Slab City.
Slab City.
Would you like to talk about it?
Before we talk about it, the reason we're even gonna mention Slab City, because you've been itching to talk about Slab City with me. We're going to California. We are not making an appearance at Slab City.
Oh no. It's too far south. It's down by San Diego.
We will, even if I'm in San Diego, I'm not going to Slab City.
I want to see Salvation Mountain so bad.
Catherine, if I had a literal need to step on all these hazardous needles, I would rather go to a veterinarian's, like, I don't know, trash can.
Okay. Calm down. Wear boots. You're going to be fine. If any of you have a plug to safely get to Salvation Mountain, hit me up. Serious inquiries only. Maybe. I probably won't go. I'm going to be honest with you. I want to go so bad, but I'm so afraid of it. Also, this is not glorifying the slabs. PSA. It's not glorifying the slabs. It's not romanticizing homelessness. Homelessness is a real issue. Drug addiction is a real issue, and it's not to be taken lightly. And I don't want to paint this area in a light that portrays it as a safe destination for travel, because it's not. But with that being said, let's talk about Slab City.
All right, Slab City. Let's go.
Okay, Slab City is a city out in California that used to be a military testing site for bombs.
Of course it was.
And then basically, I kind of don't remember what happened, but basically everyone moved away. Moral of that. Except for a small group of people. And they have created their own city there, and it is considered the last free land in America, where they're completely lawless. It's like anarchy. If you call the cops to Slab City, like, they will show up and arrest you, even if you're not the problem, because they don't want to go out there. Now, the problem with it being the last free city is that it's complete anarchy. So they have like no running water. They have like no sewage, like running sewage. They have no proper disposal of trash. So like everything is like governed and ran by the members of Slab City. So yeah, there's a lot of like people who escape their past lives, move to the slabs, and they camp out there. There's a lot of people who are running from the law that go out there to retire. And, a lot of people with active addiction move out there because there are things that are prevalent there that support that lifestyle. But my TikTok was filled with Slab City vlogs and stuff, because there was this like van influencer named, I'm so sorry if you don't want to be mentioned in this podcast, but I'm going to mention you, named Bunny and Beyond. And she posted a video kind of like de-influencing people to go to the slab, because there was another influencer who I will not name, who was like romanticizing the slab and like talking about how it's not dangerous and everyone should go. And she even brought her daughter to the slab. And her daughter's like a high schooler. Like, she went to slab prom out there. And so she was like basically so upset with this woman who was like romanticizing it, because she lived in the slab for 4 years when she was in active addiction. And she was like, what did she say? She said, oh, because the girl that brought her daughter, she's like, everyone is happy in the slabs, and and we don't need your rules, and like everyone's happy here, everyone's nice here. And then the girl, Bunny and Beyond, she said, if they're so happy, then why are they using? Because happy people are not addicted people. And that, I was like, mic drop, bro. That's crazy. Like, just boom.
Hmm.
And anyways, I'm on that side of TikTok where they're beefing back and forth. And then someone in the caption, in the comments of that TikTok was like, I stayed in an Airbnb in the slabs and it was incredible. So then I went on a spiral and I started looking up Airbnbs in Slab City.
No way.
Bro,
You found some?
yes. There is this, apparently, there's this guy named Whitehorse and he has a camper out there and he has raving reviews. They're all from like people from like Germany. Like no one from America is like has commented a review. Excuse me. I don't think, don't quote me on that. But yeah, Whitehorse apparently has a camper and he's an Airbnb host. It costs $128 a night to stay with Whitehorse in the slabs.
What is the business model of having an Airbnb in the worst part of America? Like, imagine having that's literally the equivalent of saying, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and just bite the bullet. I'm gonna Airbnb my apartment on Skid Row.
I'm not gonna lie, people on Slab Talk in the comments,
Slap talk.
they were saying, I lived in Skid Row for 4 years and I will never go to the slab. Or I was homeless in Chicago and I will never go to the slab. Or I lived in the Tenderloin and I will never go to the slabs.
The tenderloin.
Like, these people are so for real. Like, they're like, don't play with the slabs, bro.
Okay, so back to this lady who graciously brought her daughter to have slab prom.
That's not why they went. They spent the entire, like, they spent 2 months in the slabs. They just happened to have slab prom out there.
Like, I don't know if I have an opinion on this. Not because I'm not educated on Slab City. This is like maybe the third time I've heard about it.
I'm conflicted, and here's why. Personally, if I could be a fly on the wall, I would like to just fly through Slab City. Not because I want to be a privileged person that glamorizes a harder life, but because there's a lot of art there. And there's a lot of like remnants of artistic culture there. And Salvation Mountain's there, and it's like a beautiful like art installation in the desert. And so I think like that side is really interesting and really cool to see all these eclectic personalities. Like what Slab City used to be like 20, 30 years ago, it was like way more eclectic, way more just free spirited. I think that's really cool. But then, throughout the years it's gotten a lot worse because of introduction of like new rug use and things like that of that nature. So that's when I become conflicted because it's like it's so dangerous now because of everything going on, but the root of why it's there is interesting. Does that make sense? I feel like I just said a bunch of hot air.
No. I'm hearing you because I really like. I usually have an opinion on everything, but I feel like I don't have an opinion on this. But not because like my brain is dead. My brain's very much not. I'm looking at it from the point of view of like, dude, do you know how upset I would be if my mom was like, "Hey, we're gonna go ahead and go to Slab City and live
Yeah.
there"? Like,
Well, also as a young girl too, like I think there's a different level of like vulnerability as a young girl
I
to
get that, but like, what's the motivation from the mom? Like, that's really what I want to. I want to hit up the motivation from the mother. Like, is she trying to teach her something? Like, what's the lesson? Is she doing this because she was on that rug use? Like,
Well, I will say that I did stalk her mother's TikTok, and this is a heavy assumption, but she's a very free-spirited individual,
ah,
who wouldn't surprise me was on that rug.
heard. Well, my empathy kicks in there, and my empathy really does kick in there. Um, there's very little you can do once. When you're drugging and thugging, man, sometimes you gotta let go
You
and
gotta
let
let go and
God.
let God.
Yeah, man. Well, I just think like I don't know, like I think people end up doing crazy things with their kids. Like, for example, my mother really believed I would learn the value of being privileged if we went back to Nicaragua, where my dad's from. I mean, it worked, bro. Like, I mean, it was a rough trip. Needless to say, I was maybe 7, 8 years old, and we went a few times, and not for like a week or a weekend. It was like 20 days, and I mean, I thought it was a good lesson. It literally put in perspective, like, hey, man, like I take AC for granted or running water, so like I get that.
But I think that's different.
Yeah, like I
I
don't
think
I just want to know what went into her head of like I want my daughter to have this experience with a bunch of drug addicts. Like I don't
I think like I think it's one thing to go where you have roots and like connection to, but I think it's really performative for like privileged people who have been privileged their whole life to like go to an area that's underprivileged just to make themselves grateful for their lifestyle. Because then it's like these people that you're visiting to make yourself feel better are real people, and that is a real life experience. And you like cosplaying as someone of that caliber and being able to pick it up and put it down is just like the worst form of performative activism. I quite literally can't stand it. But I'm not saying that's what you did,
no no no
because you
no
have family and you have
no
ties, and
you
that's where your heritage is in Nicaragua. But like the little white girls that go to the slabs from like rich areas just because they want an experience or they want to feel more grateful for their life, I'm like, bro, get a grip.
no performative activism kind of hit a note with me. It's in my note, but it's in my notes that I sent you. But no, you don't have to. But it should be on the bottom. Like we don't even have to touch this. But performative activism. So I really have this problem, and I want to say this correctly because I don't want to make this is not a political take. This is a how I hate how people communicate in this way type of take. It just happens to be about political things a lot. But I really don't like it when people will say shocking slash triggering things in order to get a point across. And I know that's kind of not the same.
You talking about like trapping language?
Yeah, trapping life. Let me see my notes real quick because I kind of put it in a way that's like kind of made it make a little more sense. I'm also highly ADD, so I might have written it in chicken scratch, even though it's typed.
I'm like me making my own notes.
I
They're not even
really
complete
hate
sentences.
I really hate trapping language in order to stay relevant and create careers. I really like and we and I will name drop some of these creators. Some of these quote unquote political activists. You trigger people, you go to college campuses and you trigger people and you left and right, godless and atheist. You do all these things and you know why you do it. You are a grifter. You don't believe in anything. You just know this works. And people that do things like that, it's the same vibe of people who do things like performative activism. It is the
Mm-hmm.
same thing to me because I'm like, yeah, people who think this way of like, I want my daughter to have a very eclectic couple months. So we're gonna go ahead and go to Slab City where she's gonna like experience all this destruction and probably like the most fleeting part of a human's life. In the same way, I'm gonna go ahead and I've literally saw this on a TV on a news channel. I'm gonna go ahead and say a racial slur because it's gonna go ahead and trigger everyone, and everyone's gonna have to either be against me. And if you're against me, then you're against free speech and you're against being your own, being an individualist. And if you're for me, then you are literally a racist. So it, and what's funny is I genuinely believe that the person who is like saying those things, They're not racist. They don't wish to be in Slab City. Like, these are grifters. They don't care how they don't have an internal dialogue of these are my beliefs. Like, hey, these are my values. They genuinely just want to be performative, and it's insane. It's literally lunacy because I don't know. Like, I know I'm like kind of ranting. I know I'm kind of like going all over the place, and you can cut me off at any moment. But I just think it's the same insanity of I'm gonna bring my daughter to Slab City. I'm gonna say a racial slur on the news because everyone's gonna love it. Or, no, I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there.
Easy white chocolate.
But I just think I love, and everyone who knows me that's watching, I love shock value humor. I love pushing buttons. I love people getting uncomfortable. I think that's really funny when it comes to a comedic sense. So when comedians do it, the Hinchcliffe joke is one of those. But like when comedians do it, it's not that I forgive it. It just, I know why you're doing it because you are trying to get your audience to laugh. You need to say the most shocking thing to stay relevant. There is a reason for that. When I need to be very careful. When people who are in church, college, any political society, when you do this in public, you look crazy. You look crazy because you're making the things that you're standing up for, they seem fake. So you could literally be on the right side of whatever you're believing, but the minute you start using trapping language, shocking language, you start doing this, whatever your value was is completely destroyed because you've already made it look like a spectacle of the public having to choose to be for you or against you. And we feel stupid no matter what. So that's my rant.
Yeah.
I just thought about that the other day.
I think performative activism genuinely degrades any good thing they're trying to do, and it turns it into like you're just making yourself feel better. In the same way, like trapping language, whatever, like you're just making yourself feel better. You don't believe in your side so much that you will create a trap to prove that you're right.
Yeah.
When you could just like plead your case and be done. But all that to say, don't go to the slabs. I'm very interested. I'm on Slab Talk. And shout out to Bunny and Beyond for being real about the crazy stuff that goes on at the slabs. Like good, bad, ugly, uncomfortable conversations. She's not just a slab de-influencer. She actually like vlogs her van experience because she lives in her van.
Yeah.
And she travels around the world and like has a podcast. So she's not just a slab influencer. She actually gets annoyed with all the slab comments, but she's so good at talking about the slab. So
Yeah.
shout out to her. You'll never see this, but
Maybe
if you
she
do,
will. Maybe she will. I hope
maybe
she
you'll
does.
see this.
I hope she
Y'all
does.
go to her page and say the Backseat sent you. Actually, don't. I just realized her target demographic. Don't go to her page.
Don't go to her page.
If you're 18 and older, go to her page.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Well, it's nothing bad. It's just like it's intense. It's heavy stuff, you know.
Yeah, I get that. All right.
Anyways, my next topic.
All right, go for it.
I'm back into Hamilton.
Dun, 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 dun,
I'm so mercilessly back into Hamilton. It's crazy. I also made it to alternative burn lyric Hamilton-tok.
What?
Have you heard?
No, I've not.
So for those of you who don't know, burn is like the moment where Hamilton's wife realizes that like he's been cheating on her this whole time. Correct me if I'm wrong, because
I want you to. Yeah.
yeah, she basically finds out I've been cheated on, and it's like her big like moment of like burning all the letters and like just basically blowing up. It's like so like
That's a good song.
wow, woman empowerment, but like in the worst way. I feel empowered because it's like you don't get to know what I said. Like I'm burning these letters. Like I'm taking back my narrative.
She didn't leave him though.
Well, it was back then.
Yeah, it was back then. Oh, that was trapping language.
Misogynistic language. I'm just kidding.
I thought you were gonna say massage. I'm like, the Thai massage again?
No. Oh my god, I'm so gross. Sorry. No, 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 no. But anyways, the Burn. Oh, okay, good. The alternative lyrics to Burn are crazy. Just one piece of it. Bless you, Sergio. Um, just one little stanza, if you will, is okay. So it says, "Your enemy whispers, so you have to scream. I know about whispers. I see how you look at my sister."
Oh,
Like bars, bro.
that
I'm
yeah.
like, I really wish I would have made it to the final cut.
You have to watch. You have to watch Hamilton or listen to Hamilton to understand that. But that's such a good one.
I literally,
That's
it
a good
has
one.
me gobsmacked. Like,
Yeah, that's a good one.
I don't know, just, I see how you look at my sister.
Leslie Odom Jr. I know.
Wow, government name.
Listen, Leslie Odom Jr. is not just one of my favorite Broadway singers. He's just one of my favorite singers. I love his voice. He's the guy who does he's Aaron Burr.
I know Leslie Odom Jr.
I love dude. He released an album. He will literally never watch this. But he released an album.
Hey, don't say never. Our our 5 followers will send it to him.
Tag Leslie
Look,
Odom Jr.
We're all 3 people away from someone.
Listen,
Genuinely.
tag him. And not for any clout. I genuinely just want to praise someone who I think is so talented. This dude released an album, and that album, it came out in 2023. I think I forgot the name of it. But in one of them, like he literally made a kind of like his twist on the I Surrender hymn. And dude, it's so good. I loved him in all those songs. Though that was, I really gotta celebrate him. Like he's just a good singer. I like it when you can sing. When you can sing well. I just like good singers. Bring back good singers. I know that's not part of the topic. Bring back good singers. American Idol was great. That's all
Hey,
I'm saying.
it's
American Idol
still
was great.
on.
No, the guy won.
Oh, like this past season.
Yeah, this past
I
season.
thought you meant in general.
No. The guy who just won, he literally he's a vocal god. Like he's amazing. Great singer. But yeah, no, it's the alternative lyrics to Burn.
Crazy.
Crazy. I love
If
it.
you haven't heard them, look them up. They recorded it. I think they actually, I don't know if they released it or not. I found the snippet on TikTok of them singing it. So it might be released or it could have just been leaked to TikTok. Find it. It sounds incredible. It's really good. But yeah.
That's so good. I like that. That's really good. I don't know how true this is. Oh, were you gonna say something? I don't
Go
know how
ahead.
true
Look,
this
I've been
is.
talking a lot.
You remember the Passion of the Christ?
Yes. Oh, never mind. I was
We
going to share
all
my
have-
passion experience,
We
and
all
I realized
have a
I don't.
Passion of the Christ story.
I realized that I have free will, and I can withhold information. I don't just have to say everything.
You ready for this?
Go ahead.
They're making a sequel.
The studio audience is shook right now.
No,
Well, I mean, what is it going to be? Like,
it's called The Resurrection of the Christ,
oh, I thought it was going to be some,
a musical.
oh my gosh. I keep wanting to say Revelations. That's so not it.
Which one?
When God comes back,
Oh, The Rapture?
yeah. I thought that was going to be the part 2.
That's actually a good part too. Anyway, so the Passion of the Christ
feel
is
like that'd
coming
make
up
more
with
sense.
a sequel. I don't even think that's big news. I thought that was just funny because apparently they're gonna make it about the underworld. So I'm like,
What?
I don't
What?
know. Mel Gibson's a very interesting character. I love his movies though. Said some unfortunate things a few years back, but we're getting through that, Mel. We love you. Believe for you.
I'm not sure what he said, but I don't know if we want to talk about that
I
on
don't-
this podcast.
I don't know if we'll keep it, but I thought it was a funny thing to bring up.
I genuinely don't know what he said. That's why I said it.
Yeah, it was before our time. He just said Kanye type of
Oh.
verbiage. What happens to all these grades? Why do they always go there?
Because I think pride will make you do crazy stuff because you feel like no one can check you.
You know what? I know we keep trying not to talk about it, but this is all about triggering and trapping language. Like,
Not really.
well, kind of, because they're only saying it because it's gonna trigger people.
That could be their real thoughts.
You don't think so? I don't know if that's anybody's real thought. Do you think? Dang, man, people can be hateful. People can be hateful. Well, I don't know if we'll keep that in.
Speaking of
Hopefully
hateful
we do.
people, do we want to talk about our experience at Trader Joe's?
Actually, yeah, let's go ahead and end it with a banger. This is a really funny and crazy story. Go ahead, start it off.
Oh, you want me to say it?
I can start it, but I'm gonna I'm gonna be spotty about it.
So basically, I guess I will tell the story.
All right.
Well, there I was. I'm just kidding.
King of the Hill.
Hashtag King of the Hill. Anyways, we're sitting there. I almost said a Vine reference. I'm so sorry. I'm not serious right now, and this is a serious story. Yes.
Which Vine reference can you say real quick?
I can't. I
Oh,
can't.
man.
It's not appropriate. But it's but Sergio's literally dying right
Oh,
now.
man. Go ahead and type it in the chat.
Look, for those that know, no, do not tap in. Don't
Type
type
it.
in the chat. But it's so funny. For those that caught that and are above the age of 18, thank you for laughing with me. If you know a Vine reference, you're over the age of 18, just automatically. But anyways, back to my story.
That's crazy though.
So basically, we're at Trader Joe's. We're shopping. It's time to check out. Of course, we're shopping at peak hours. So like everyone and their brother is there. So this line literally like wraps around the store. And so we get in the line, and like, because, well, I guess this doesn't matter where the line is positioned because this could happen anywhere. But basically, the line wasn't in between like the aisle where the line normally goes. It was way past that. So there was more room to like shuffle around and make the line crazy. So I was standing behind Christian because Christian had the cart, and I don't like pushing the cart. And I see Christian look behind me, then look back at me, and he's like, "You need to get in front of me. Go ahead and get in front of the cart." And usually when he says that, it's because like someone's standing too close to me or something. Like it's not,
Yeah, I gotta scoot you up. You know what I mean?
yeah, like man or woman. If they're just standing too close, you're like, nah.
Men.
And so I turn around, and it's like this old, like 5'4" man, old, but he was built. This dude was
I
built.
don't think he was built. He looked a little scrawny.
He kind of looked like No Neck Ed, but with a neck. It's like if No Neck Ed had a neck and a different facial structure entirely.
No, Nick Ed is hilarious.
Maybe he just had broad shoulders.
He might have just had broad shoulders.
Man kind of looked like a thumb, not gonna lie, but with a neck. Anyways, enough about this dude. So I see him, and he's standing kind of close to me, but like, I don't think anything of it. So I move up. I move in between like the basket and the little like products that they're trying to sell in line, you know? But then I'm like feeling claustrophobic. I'm like, I'm too close to this basket. I'm too close to Christian. Like, I want to stand back in my spot. And then I turn to my right. This man scoots up and is equal with Christian. So like they're standing side by side. Like I moved out of the way and he took my spot. And so I look at him, and at this point, like I had already made up my mind that I should have said something to begin with instead of just moving, because I'm trying to be more intentional about not bending to the will of others, especially if they're trying to force me to do something.
Sure. Yeah.
Obviously within reason. I'm still a reasonable person and like love compromise. But like if someone's about to run into me, I don't always have to move out of the way. I can let them reap the consequences of their action and run into me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I've been kind of like working on that. And so I turned and I looked at him. I'm like, hey, like, do you mind scooting back just a little bit? Like, you're really close to us. And I'm expecting him to be like, you know, just old. So he'd be like, oh, sorry, I'm not spatially aware. He literally doubles down and is like, well, is there a problem? And I was like,
We both looked at him. We're like,
so we
yeah.
both turned around, and I said, and I, at that point, I was mad. And I go, yeah, there is a problem. You're way too close to us and you need to back up. And then I whip back around because I'm also trying to work on not leaving room for someone to like butt in and like try to take back the conversation and the power. So I just turn back around and like kind of cut him off and say, hey, I said what I said. you're going to back up. So then I whip back around and he's like, wow, wow. And he's like sitting there pouting. And so I just move on with my life because I'm like, be mad. I don't care. So then like this dude's wife comes and he backs all the way up whenever she comes and she has her basket and everything. He backs up so far, he's like behind her. And I'm like, oh, so now there's room. Oh, now your wife is here. There's plenty of room. But before your wife was here, you want to get all up on me for some reason. And so when we got,
A clarity statement. He wasn't getting up all. He he was more closer to me.
yeah, he was side by side with
So
Christian.
just to get some clarity on how this looked like, he was more closer to me. So he initially was behind me, and I saw him. I get a little, I just get bothered when people are too close to me. So my whole thing is like, let's go ahead and move up a little bit. Maybe he doesn't have space. I always try to go with best intention first before I crash out. So I'm like, spatial awareness issue. He probably just doesn't realize he's really close to me. So I go ahead and that's when I scoot you up. This dude is shoulder to shoulder with, really shoulder to elbow with me. And I'm 6'2", so he's really shoulder to elbow with me. And I could kind of smell the alcohol in his breath. And I'm like, oh, dude, right in front of you, there's this girl who's clearly coming out of the gym. It's 94 degrees outside. You can assume what she's wearing, and understandably, she had a gym bag with her. She's coming from the gym. It's hot outside. I mean, we're all basically wearing shorts and like a tank at this point. This dude, is literally staring. Like that's the first thing I noticed. When I saw him, he was just like, eyes open and looking. And like I think as long as like, everyone's being safe, like I try not to like get involved, but at that point I was just like, dude, like it's one thing that I moved you up to give more space. Maybe he's trying to like scoot in or, trying to make space. This dude is literally shoulder to shoulder with me, looking at you and looking at this girl. And I was like, I'm glad, like, when you started saying something, I was like, oh, good, Catherine's about to say something, because if I do, it's going to be very, very explosive. And so I was really glad that you actually said, you were quicker than me. I was about to actually answer, and I was about to say not so nice things. I'm still appropriate. I was just going to be like, hey, man, like, if you're going to be looking at women like that, you're going to have to do it from your phone or something. Like, you can't be just pulling up and, coming to Trader. I mean, no. I mean, it's true though. Like, you're not going to be pulling up to Trader Joe's. It's not just you. The girl also is clearly in her 20s, so it's not just you two. But it's like there's kids there too. There's 16-year-olds there too. There's 14-year-olds there. There's children there. So it's like, hey man, like respectfully, back up. I was about to say before you started saying that, I was about to be like, hey man, you need to stop being a creep. Like, pull back a little bit. And so I really was trying not to get explosive. If it was my other family member,
Bruh.
he lives for the smoke. But
Try Jesus, not him.
don't try him, man.
Because he wants to fight.
Yeah, no, he would have loved to say something. But I think all this to say, like, I was really surprised. I'm like, oh man, it would have been a valid crash out, because he got very defensive when you set a boundary, and it literally made me go to this mindset. I'm like, bro, people like I don't want to put that label on him, because he just had one bad moment while he was inebriated, but
Allegedly.
allegedly, I mean, I smelled it. You smelled it too. Like it was there. He was loud, but the way people respond after you check them is a big factor of whether or not they're safe.
Well, I think
Yeah.
also like the way people respond when being checked by a woman.
Oh yeah.
Because I think, I want to say this delicately, if you were to check him, it's more threatening in nature.
Yeah, for sure.
For one, because it's two men.
Yeah.
Which is why I felt okay with checking him anyways, because I was like, this guy's older. I really did assume the best of him. I didn't see him I can't see behind me. So
Yeah.
I didn't see him looking at me. and I didn't see him looking at the other girl because I literally just turned around, made eye contact with him, was like, oh, and turned
Yeah.
back around. So I'm assuming the best. I'm like, you're not spatially aware. You're just too close. I'm going to say something polite but firm because I'm going to give you a chance to right your wrongs. I'm
Yeah.
not just going to sit here and be annoyed. Like, I want to give you a chance to right your wrongs. And I thought it'd be best coming from me because it's less threatening coming from me. And I was in control of how that was being conveyed. But the second that you take being checked by a woman as a way to match that energy, that tells me everything I need to know about your intentions.
Absolutely.
Tells me everything I need to know about why you're doing what you're doing. And also like how you view women.
Yeah.
Because you shouldn't view women as someone to like bow up with, especially at your big age. Like
At your big age.
at your big age, you've come in contact with, I would hope, a lot of women.
Well, he had a wife too.
That's my thing. And so I'm like, you were birthed from a woman, raised by a woman, and married to a woman, and you still don't respect them.
Probably has daughters.
Probably has daughters and would hate for some old man to be creeping on them.
You know, now that you're mentioning this, so I was this was, I want to say 2 years ago. My little brother at the time, who is 14 right now, he was maybe 12. And Jeremy was he was a little cute ball. He was a cute kid. And so Jeremy's maybe 11 or 12, and I'm taking him to his youth service at church. And we stopped by Kroger because you were telling me you're exhausted. Kroger had a Starbucks. So we're like, okay, let's go pick up some liquid IVs and some Starbucks, and just, mind our business. It's not uncommon for my little brother to go wandering off, right? He was a little older. He has a phone. He also is very careful.
Oh my God, not like me.
Oh man.
Sorry, guys. He's very careful, breaks everything.
He's very careful. Also, how are we doing on the camera time? We're good. Okay. I just we'll get through the story. So, but he's very careful. So, he goes and disappears a little bit, and he's like, hey, come meet me at this aisle. I'm thinking he wants me to buy something because he's a leech, and so I pull up, and I noticed this person that's maybe, I want to say 20 feet, 15 feet from him. And this person's clearly unwell. He's twitching. His hands in his pocket. It doesn't look, it's not a beautiful sight really. And so my little brother's like, my little brother just walks up to me and he's like, bro. And I'm like, what? He's like, this guy's following me. And I was like, okay, Jeremy, we're going to go ahead and have a fun experiment. And so I tried to, I was like, Jeremy, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to walk in this direction. Something crazy happens, run up to me, right? Because, this guy is also not a big guy. He looks like he's tweaking. So I'm like, okay, yeah, just, let me know. I'm watching. And so we're like, we're literally doing catch a predator, but really bait a predator. But, and so Jeremy is walking in from this aisle to another aisle, and I'm watching him the entire time. This dude is monitoring. And so by the moment I started seeing Jeremy walk, and I'm walking in Jeremy's direction, Jeremy's walking in another direction, this person's following. And so I'm like, I text Jeremy, like, go ahead and walk back to me. And so he walks up to me, and I lock eyes with this dude. And now I'm like, you know what? It's time to be violent. So me and Jeremy, I'm like, Jeremy, go ahead and stand behind me. I start chasing this guy. I straight up, we're in Kroger, and I'm following him. He knows I'm following him.
Prey becomes predator.
Yeah, no, because I was like, hey, listen, dude.
What did I say? You picked the right one? What, you picked the wrong one on the right day?
You picked the wrong one on the right day. Because I at that moment, I think I was going through some personal turmoil too. So I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm ready for the smoke. I literally am chasing this guy to the point where he gets afraid. He starts speed walking out the store. And we left the store. So I'm like, okay, we're not in a business anymore. So we're in the parking lot. So I'm like, hey, where you going? What happened? Go ahead and come back. Come back. And he's running. This dude got very scared. And I'm like, no, come back. Let's go ahead and talk. Let's talk. This dude gets in his car and just literally peels out the parking garage. And my little brother for the first time, like I don't think he's ever experienced anything like that. And he looks at me and he's like, dude, what was that? That's so scary. Like that's freaky. That's something so scary. And I'm like, it's because when you confront those people, dude, it's there. And I'm trying to say this in a way where we can still post this on YouTube, but they don't get off. They don't get off
Yeah.
at you confronting
Well, they
them.
feel seen.
Yeah. They feel
And
exposed,
their whole
really.
thing is that they like to sneak. But you can't sneak if people see you and if people confront you.
Yeah.
And that's one thing, like, at my job, related and not related.
Sure.
At my job, it's like your first line of defense is confrontation. So if you're trying to de-escalate a threat or a potential dangerous person, you don't have to confront them with like, and what are you doing? But just confront them, hey, can I help you?
Yeah.
Because that self-realization of people can perceive me it's eye-opening based on their response. It's either they're completely normal and you totally just like typecasted this person and you know what, you should reevaluate why you thought that way about them.
Yeah.
Or they confirm your suspicions and they're like actually crazy. But at least like you have that like knowledge of like, okay, you're not well. And based on your response is how I'm going to treat you. I'm not going to treat you like a sane person because you're clearly not.
Yeah.
And that's how that guy was at Trader Joe's.
Yeah. I mean, and again, I don't really want to put that label on this guy. Now, on the guy who was at the store following my little brother.
Yeah, well, they're two different. It doesn't all have to be one thing.
Yeah.
There's different age groups. But
Yeah.
like a creepy person is a creepy person. It doesn't matter who they choose to creep on. It doesn't matter what age, gender, nationality, whatever the case may be. Like if you're suspicious, you're suspicious. And non-suspicious people don't get defensive when they're asked politely to back up, to
Yeah.
look away. What they're doing. Only suspicious people out of left field double down and are like, well, why would you even bring attention to me to begin with? Because
Yeah.
you're creepy.
Well,
That's why.
they're also trying to, they're grasping at straws to not be seen as what they really are. And so like that's where the gaslighting is. That's where the manipulation is. I know we have a theme almost like in every podcast that we've been doing so far. But I think in this one, please confront the creepy people. If
If you feel safe to.
if you feel safe to, if you feel like you're, if you feel like you're in that position where someone's clearly trying you, because I think fight or flight comes into play a lot, especially I would assume in women. Excuse me.
Can you angle your mic down just a little bit so you're talking more directly into it?
Sure.
Okay. Because it was like up at your nose.
Yeah, sorry. I'm also trying not to burp. So I'm like, oh, fight or flight. I think fight or flight comes into play a lot. And so if you feel safe to, if there's a cop around, if there's like an authority around, go ahead and start being like, hey, why are you looking at me? Call it out. Call it out.
Don't be afraid to take up space.
Yeah.
That's kind of been what I've been working on these past couple of years is within reason. Don't become an abrasive person that like can't compromise. The world revolves around them. Like that's not the goal. Don't swing the pendulum the opposite direction.
Don't yell at your Starbucks
Yeah.
drive through.
Be a nice person, but being a nice person doesn't mean you have to shrink down to fit the perception of others or to be not problematic.
Yeah.
Like it's okay to take up your own amount of space, and if someone's bothering you, it's okay to respectfully confront them and to put a boundary.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I know we should go ahead and put a cap on this pod on episode 4, but man, like I wish we could go on that forever. Like I really wish more people were confronting creeps. Maybe that's the title.
In a respectful way.
And no, because here's the thing.
But here's the thing. You can assume someone's a creep.
Yeah.
And they're not.
No,
like,
that's true.
You're going to say that, and then you're going to, like, go to the gym and literally be minding your own business. And then some girl's going to be like, And you know what? You're staring at me and recording me.
Well, let me go
and you're
ahead
like, I'm literally on the Stairmaster, bro.
Okay, Joey Soul. Let me let me go ahead and edit that then. Let me tweak that. Ask clarifying questions. Set appropriate and courteous boundaries. Be a good person. Do not, please, do not care about Anabelle. And go Knicks. I don't know what else. You got anything else?
You can't rebuke Anabelle with the power of voodoo. I'm sorry. We're going to close with that. Jesus Christ is the only thing that can cast out impure spirits. And look, the atheists will hate that one. I love you guys. Don't feel ostracized by me. But
they're not going to care about it because it doesn't affect them.
It's true because they don't believe in it at all.
Listen,
they don't believe in spirits at all.
My respect to atheists, bro, because at least you know it doesn't matter. At least you know it doesn't matter because either it all matters or none of it matters. And I am on the side of Anabelle ain't got nothing on nobody. We're going to end pod 4. We love you. Like, share, subscribe. Buy Off the Tee. Off the Tee. Look at this hat.
Tell them the Backseat sent you.
Look at this hat. Off the Tee. Bye, guys. Cut.